Hi, good afternoon. My name is Kasaya Correa, and today we'll be presenting the Employee Manager Relations in Healthcare with a focus on large scale for profit hospital organizations presentation, was presented by Team Charter Group 16, which consists of Richard Bustamante, Alegría Peña, Carol Gold, Kasaya Correa, Reo Coronado, and Rigoberto Martinez. First, we are going to focus on manager accessibility. A healthcare supervisor must be generally visible to employees and must be both perceived as available and actually available. That means it must be physically and technically because a manager can be present but not available to the employees. They might be doing office work. The matter of perception is stressed because as far as employees are concerned, much of the manager's state of being visible is psychological. Managers who demonstrate high levels of accessibility are more apt to employees who feel comfortable by stopping by their office and letting them know of any issues or ideas that they have in mind. A manager should always have an open door policy because this gives them a better understanding on what's happening to the employees on a daily basis. There are several reasons why there should be an open door policy, which include to demonstrate others your accessibility as a manager, to encourage an open flow communication, to gain fast access to important situations or information, and to maintain closer working relationships with your employees. Few managers are available to maintain a truly open door policy because they can be very busy doing their office work and forget about what's happening outside the office. Some of the problems that a manager has to face are external factors affecting accessibility and administration deadlines and meetings as well.
Manager accessibility conclusion. Manager accessibility is an essential part of the manager role because depending on the issue, the employee will feel appreciated that the manager has the time to talk to the employees about the ongoing problems of the department. A manager who is always absent will create the impression that he or she does not care about the employees and their concerns. Again, the cause of the ignored employees due to the manager's absence will create a bizarre working environment, such as the feeling that employees are not important, and it will affect the performance of all of them.
Some external factors affecting accessibility include the absence of a manager, which impedes thorough communication between the manager and the employee. A manager creates communication problems by not being reasonably accessible. This makes the employees have to wait for answers and take chances to act independently upon themselves and make decisions that might cause harm to any decision that is being made. This may be especially troublesome in emergencies when time must be devoted to tracking down a missing manager. Another factor affecting accessibility is the perception of manager, whether a manager is oriented upward or downward in the organizational structure. There is a strong and natural inclination that a manager will look into upward orientation, meaning that they will spend more time with higher organizational superiors and executives than with the subordinates. This means that they will spend more time with only their managers and peers, as in co-workers who are superior to them, rather than the employees and focusing on supervising the people beneath them. The manager should be aware that some of the external factors affecting their accessibility could cause a critical impact on the working performance of all the employees if they're not being supervised. For example, absenteeism will create the impression that the manager has more important things to do than listen to the employees and cause a low moral on the working environment.
Administration deadlines. Managers have certain goals to meet that are imposed by administration, and they have to deliver results in a certain amount of time. The manager has to implement internal deadlines by creating plans for their subordinates. One of the problems managers have is that their subordinates are not meeting the goals as expected. There are several reasons, including employees not taking deadlines seriously, not enough time to complete the expectations, lack of plan to track the progress of the assignments, and performance problems of the staff. Deadlines are essential to the managers because they are a tool they can use to keep track on the progress of objectives and on the performance of the employees. On the other hand, deadlines that are not clearly defined will cause problems among the employees. This includes what the deadlines of a given objective are not defined at all, meaning that the manager imposes the deadlines as soon as possible but not clarifying the amount of time to meet the goal or not being clear about the goal will have a negative effect on the employees.
Another factor includes meetings. Meetings are an essential part of a manager's role. The manager must always be prepared to conduct an effective meeting with employees because they cannot waste their time. They need to be prepared at all times to know what they're going to be discussing and get to the target. Managers have to create the meeting agendas to cover essential topics, address issues, and review the progress of the objectives. There is an essential factor the managers need to consider before, during, and after the meetings. The manager must review the topics of the meetings, the issues to be addressed, and the purpose of the meeting to the staff. Some of the common questions a manager should be ready to answer from part of the employees are: why are we having this meeting? What is the purpose of this meeting? A manager should always be ready to be answering questions such as those. A manager should update upcoming meetings so the employees can be prepared and know ahead of time when to schedule their meetings. During the meetings, managers should address the problems of the department, review the objectives and performance of the staff. After the meeting, the manager should take the time to encourage the staff to address new problems or ways to improve certain action plans or some of the issues that are currently occurring. Also, the employee should provide good feedback to the manager on problems that needs to be solved or an action plan that needs to be improved. As per se, a good idea for a manager to keep track of a meeting also is timekeeping by using a spreadsheet with having everything written down of what they need to talk about in their meeting.
Meetings conclusion. Meetings are important for the manager because it will give them time to catch up on the problems of the department, to notify the employees about the progress on the objectives, and to listen to the employees' concern about new developed issues. If the manager does not schedule a meeting, it will cause a negative effect on all the employees, creating the feeling that they are not important.
Continuing on to the empowerment by the manager. The concept of empowerment and leadership. Employee empowerment is a process of giving frontline employees the authority to make decisions once reserved only for managers. It has become an important topic in the early 21st century. Leadership as coaching style management has become more commonplace. Companies are generally operating with less authoritarian style management and trying to get employees actively involved in larger business processes. Theory X and Y. Empowerment is more correlated with the theory Y style of management, which Douglas McGregor explained in his 1960 book, The Human Side of Enterprise. This is a coaching style where McGregor's theory X was more authoritative style. With theory Y, leaders who are more optimistic view of the ability to get work from the employees. This belief makes them more likely to implement empowerment than the theory X leaders who are less trusting of worker capabilities.
How does a leader use empowerment? A good leader manager understands when and when not a staff needs guidance. Empowering employees is allowing them to make daily job performance decisions without having to get managerial approval. A manager who understands the benefits of empowerment can apply that knowledge to assist in employee development. Goals. Developmental goals that the manager and employees set at an annual appraisal become a roadmap for the employees to use during the course of the year. A manager should check in occasionally to ensure the employee is following the plan as outlined at the appraisal, but the plan's execution is up to the employee. The employee is given the opportunity to create his own success based on how aggressively he pursues his career developmental goals.
Problem solving is another important factor while being a manager. When a work group looks to itself to solve operational issues instead of relying on management, this is an example of productive employee empowerment. A manager can turn the responsibility of dealing with daily production and job performance issues to the staff, thereby empowering the staff to develop its own problem solving process, which enables the manager to be out of the bench and have their own employees solve their own issues without needing them. The staff's improved ability to independently solve problems makes them more efficient and helps increase group productivity as well as profit. Delegation. Empowerment closely aligns with the leadership topic of delegation. Delegation is leaders giving subordinate tasks to complete and timeliness in which to complete them. Delegation has generally been around longer than empowerment. Empowerment is more about trusting employees to make decisions in customer service situations or other front end situations when a manager is not available. In essence, delegation is typically more task based, while empowerment is more authority and decision based. This helps create a hierarchy within the group and strengthens the team's ability to make decisions and develop the team's careers. The manager remains as a resource to team leaders, but the manager empowers those employee leaders to make their own decisions and develop their own managerial skills.
The advantages and disadvantages of empowerment in an organization. Increase productivity and morale. Empowering your employees to make decisions on their own can increase productivity. When employees do not have to wait for approval from a manager or supervisor, workflow does not slow down or stop. Employees solve their own problems and move on to the next task. Being able to make decisions and devise innovative solutions increase employee satisfaction as well. Empowered employees feel as their contributions matter. When the company trusts them to make decisions, morale increases and as a result so does productivity. Improve quality. Giving your employees the training, tools and guidance to make independent decisions often encourages them to produce quality work and helps your business meet its goals. In fact, a 1999 study of Canadian hospitals conducted by the University of Alberta found that a culture of employee empowerment and ownership is a key to reaching quality improvement goals and maintaining quality standards. When properly trained employees are empowered to solve problems, task risk, or be creative in their approach to work, they are more likely to assume ownership of the task. Empowered employees provide exceptional service, better customer service. Increase risk. While empowering employees can increase morale, productivity, and quality, it also has its drawbacks. Without proper training and a set of guidelines, empowerment can lead to chaos. Employees need guidance in the mission, vision, and values of the organization so that their decisions fall in line with the company goals and do not cause harm to the business. Empowering organizations need to be comfortable with a certain amount of risk, but in terms of security, empowered employees often have access to information that could damage the company if leaked, and in terms of loss due to entrepreneurial failure.
Some important considerations: while employee empowerment is increasingly popular, it is challenging in some work environments. Managers that are not as natural at the white theory coaching style may need training to better understand the value of empowerment and how to give appropriate authority and trust to make it work. Some employees also need ongoing coaching and training on how to make better use of empowerment. They will also need that hand behind guidance. While leaders can deter employees from making decisions by harshly criticizing them, they should discuss decisions and alternatives to help employees improve. Responsibility. Managers use various methods to create a higher sense of responsibility in employees. One of those methods includes to empower employees to be responsible for many of their own administrative tasks. For example, employees are required to submit their own timesheets and make their own time off requests with human resources rather than going through the manager. This gives employees more of a feeling of autonomy and makes them directly responsible for their own company record keeping. The increased sense of responsibility transfers over to other areas of employee performance and creates a more productive staff. Okay.
Next, we're going to cover the employee responsibilities in employee relations. As an employee working in healthcare organization, the importance of a healthy working relationship with colleagues and manager is crucial because it will increase individuals' productivity and effectiveness in the workplace. In other words, For an organization to perform better, it is essential that employees are comfortable with each other, share a good rapport, and coordinate closely towards a common objective. In this way, employees will feel motivated to do their job to the best of their ability while at the same time enjoy doing it than taking it as a burden. In order to achieve such healthy work environment with coworkers and manager, an employee has some responsibilities that are necessary to maintain a warm relationship among the employees. The first one is one needs to be sensible enough to understand that each organization has set up policies and rules, and it's mandatory for everyone to abide by the rules and regulations. One can just be doing anything he wants that is against organization policies. You cannot just take leaves whenever you like. If your organization needs you at work, you have to be there at all costs. Professional commitments are far more important than personal pleasures. And an employee has to be a good communicator for an effective employee relationship. Being transparent with your communication and not confuse others by playing with your words. In other words, do not simply say yes when actually you disagree with the idea. Discuss with others your views and try to conceive to
One needs to be disciplined at work. Practice the habits of punctuality, being on time, never being late, staying in your own workstation, focusing on your own work, and leaving on time. One should respect his superiors as well as his colleagues. A good relationship at work will never be improved unless you respect others. Avoid pretending to be with good in front of your boss. Don't try to don't try to play politics against anyone just for promotion or more appreciation from your boss. Such bad habit will earn you a bad name on your team, and fellow workers might ignore you when you need them. Your work speaks and nothing apart from what really matters. Be patient and never be rude to anyone. One should speak what is acceptable at the workplace. Don't use foul words against anyone. It is best to learn how to control your tongue and ignore minor issues than fighting with others. One should give his team member a desired space and respect each other's privacy. Always keep superiors in the loop in every communication. If you're sending an email in an external party, make sure ACC is marked to your boss and he is aware of the entire development. Any information meant for all team members should be downloaded to them the correct way. Avoid being jealous at work. Appreciate colleagues if they have done well. Avoid criticism at work. Never make fun of anyone. Pointing mistakes is important, but make sure you do not insult the other person. Efforts must be taken to avoid conflicts at work so that employees come closer to each other. Work together does not lose their focus. Teamwork makes the dream work.
These are only some of the responsibilities, and if every employee will take his role for a smooth working relationship in the workplace, I think everyone in the team will always look forward in going to work in which he is comfortable with working. Therefore, it helps everyone to be more productive and effective worker delivering the best out of himself. On the hand, disputes and disagreements only lead to stress and nothing productive comes out of it. Upon achievement, a smooth working relationship among employees, they will try to achieve organization's goals as their goal at any cost. The employee will learn to take ownership of their work and do every possible way to satisfy themselves as well as the organization.
Responsibilities and focus of the manager in a for profit organization. Health system and production is the main focus. Timeliness for productivity expectations as well. Age caps, surveys, risk management programs, quality improvement measures to aid in decreasing adverse events and improving patient outcomes and experience. Manager implements and ensures these productive measures with employees through the use of training required educational course involvement, meetings, and quarterly, semi-annual, or annual performance evaluations. Employees may exhibit either resistance or content participation depending on the aspect for improvement and the demeanor of the manager when presenting such change or suggestion for improvement. Managers' delicate, compassionate, and well informed educated presentation of such issues is key to ensure compliance and lack of doubt and confusion amongst staff.
Responsibilities and focus of the manager in a for-profit organization continue. Manage resources effectively. Manager must evaluate the need versus the want. Have a specific protocol and policies in place and ensure that they are followed. Keep staff informed on use of resources. Improve staff morale. Meet with the staff for suggestion and QI issues. The staff is constantly using resources on a daily basis and have a working understanding of the needs of the organization. Motivate and empower employees. Promote moderate degree of enthusiasm and decrease the prevalence of work-related distress and recognize signs of each. Provide periodic formalized forms of employee recognition. Provide daily casual form of positive recognition as well as compliments on productive actions. Reward productive behavior and recognize poor behavior with recommendations and strategies for improvement. Provide an outlet for continuing education for staff. Utilize fair strategies for promotion and advancement that are based on the system of proven results and experience. Supervisors must be both an effective leader and manager and exhibit emotional intelligence.
Responsibilities and focus of the manager in a for-profit organization continue. They must be ensuring that the production goals and quality measures are met and consistent and carried out effectively by the team. Managers utilize quarterly, semi-annual, and annual performance evaluations to make sure that they're being kept on track. Provide feedback and support so the employees are aware of what they're doing wrong or what they're doing right. Provide training where needed and educational resources, and implement the most appropriate management style that facilitates maximum productivity and goal completion. You must also recognize trends, positive or negative, as well as changes in employee behavior that either show signs of impending intervention or positive reinforcement. The manager must have both a bird's eye view of operations as a whole and at ground level, an understanding of the holistic operational activity as well as the individualized emotional, personal, and task-related issues will ensure efficient macro as well as micromanagement of the department he or she manages. The manager must differentiate and separate behavior conduct issues versus the performance issues because the two topics are managed differently and require different interventions by the manager. Employees may be reluctant on expressing issues to the manager or supervisor. Therefore, a micromanagement strategy where the manager is on the floor working with employees and determining issues at the staff level might improve relations. An open door policy and accessibility is essential in creating a comfortable work environment for staff and ongoing relation between the manager and the staff.
Factors affecting managers' decisions. How do external motivation affect employee management? Administration requests for department improvement goals that increase demands of employee but provide financial incentive for supervisor if goals met. Employee morale versus manager external compensation rewards issue. Shareholders request for downsizing staffing in times of economic distress. Positive and compassionate staff decisions despite external motivation in terms of financial and promotional opportunities for manager supervisor can greatly improve long-term staff relations and improve productivity. Administration demands, deadlines and meetings, reduce physical accessibility of manager. Large-scale facility may have several levels of management with much variability and requests by managers for departmental changes that may require higher management agreement may be involved for the sake of time. Small incremental departmental improvements may be preferred opposed to large changes that might be more feasible in a small scale for profit organization. Depending on a manager's ability to meet administration demands may affect employees' needs, interests, and concerns. A good working relation must be established with administration by the manager so that the lower level decision making can be made with minimal interruptions, and changes, both large and small scale, can be made with minimal opposition by shareholders.
There are factors affecting a manager's decision. Continue. Sales and production goals. Production goals increase demands on the manager, and depending on his or her self management, this may result in increased stress, low morale, high turnaround rates, and low productivity among staff. Survey results. Results from surveys such as HCAPS may direct the formation of various programs that involve QI and risk management and may invoke the need for collaboration, may create a decentralized form of management. Staff resistance may be encountered, and managers use effective change management strategies. It's essential in change models such as ADKAR are recommended to minimize resistance to change. Increased demands on staffing in the form of training coursework may be implemented based on the results. Cost effectiveness and budgeting. Budgeting may increase job strain on employees. Manager must provide alternatives and adjust policies procedures to ensure the continuity and service productivity.
Motivations affecting employees' work and decisions. Opportunities for advancement. Limited opportunity for promotion may lower the standards of practice and increase turnaround rates. What can the manager do? Negotiate with director or administration for the creation of new opportunities for leadership. Review the QI measurements to determine if new programs might be created to improve productivity. Present department operating statements for prior fiscal year and how the new adjustment will affect future fiscal terms in terms of benefit to the organization. And opportunities for continuing education. Limited opportunity for continual advancement in the form of HR reimbursement, incentives, training by department manager, and lack of funding for professional conferences. And CE, opportunities may adversely affect patient morale and increase turnaround rates. What can the manager do? Review budget, prepare operating statements to negotiate with administration, shareholders, and or directors of the department manage.
Motivations affecting employees' work and decisions continued. Opportunities for rate increases based on merit and achievement. Their limited opportunity for financial advancement may increase turnaround rates. What can a manager do about this? They can prepare operating statement to negotiate with administration, shareholders, and or directors or department being managed. Justify the need based on the performance and evaluate local and national rates for staffing positions to justify the merit increase. Satisfaction with manager work ethic and fairness. Decreased satisfaction with management in terms of fairness and ethical behavior creates a low sense of morale. Decreased employee satisfaction, productivity, and performance, as well as increased organizational turnaround rates. What can a manager do about this? They can abide by the ethical principles, empower staff, maintain professionalism at all times, and provide a structured and fair format for advancement and providing professional opportunities. These are all of our references cited for the PowerPoint presentation. Thank you so much for your time on behalf of Team Charter 16.